Welcome back, Chiefs fans on both sides of the state line. I know there's been conversation about that, but tonight is how your team that sits on that line gets to make itself better. We are doing a mock draft live for your Kansas City Chiefs tonight here on RGR Football. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Not much in terms of news, so we're pretty comfortable doing this mock draft tonight. We are live. I am. Dan sends his best. He's got a family thing, so he will see you most likely tomorrow night. Want to say hi to everybody. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Julie. Hello, Aaron. Our fearless moderator is here. That is Aaron Morrow. Give him a hand if you would. Hey, Terry. Our first super chat, Miss Holly. Thank you very much. $2. This is from angry drunken German comment. He said you'd understand. Okay, I appreciate that. Well, thank you both, and thank you all for being here. I hope that you're enjoying your weekend. This is one that I almost pre-recorded, but next week I'm going to have to pre-record because I have a family sporting event that we're going to have to take care of. Seth, welcome to you as well. I'm glad that you've cooled off. It takes some work, but everybody, please give Aaron a hand. He is our fearless moderator. If you're new around here, he's the guy that you want to talk to in the chat, especially if you need to get my attention. If you do want to support the channel, the super chats will always be seen, and I'll always get you something for it. So appreciate you. Starting with Miss Holly, very much appreciate your support, as we always do. But tonight, we're going to get into the mock draft. You're going to have the voice in it. We're going to vote in the chat. So be prepared to give a name, one or the other. I'm going to give you some A, B options as we walk through this tonight. The Matrix is done and out. I think you guys should check that out. You will enjoy it because it is all the advanced information that you need on athleticism and who makes a difference as an athlete at the next level. This culminates all my work over the last 20 years. So you can go to rogueapc.com and get it for the RGR22 AM code. That gives you a sizable chunk, more than 20% off, just for you guys for being here. And I think you'll get a lot of that. I'm going to leave that code there for when the draft guide comes out in about 10 days. Maybe quicker if I can get it done. Dan and I are still grading a lot of film, as does the rest of our team. We're trying to finish that up, and we'll get that ready as well. That draft guide is huge, and if you guys have seen it before, you know that it covers a lot, and it will be these players that are available here as we start to take a look at this. Our mock for tonight, they will come in handy. I do want to say this is just one scenario. I want to get off the board early, because I always get a lot of complaints about these mocks that we didn't do this or we didn't do that. And we're going to talk through why. And this is one scenario that could happen for the Chiefs, could not, could be an exercise in what might happen that doesn't actually come to fruition. That's the way it is. David, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Any support, we very much appreciate. And if you guys like any of the gear over the RGR store, that always helps as well. Big, big help. Before we get cutting, Julian, I'd take Devonta Wyatt the first pick if he's available. Then Ojabo, Mafe. Okay, so he's talking about what we had on the cover. And I did that because I think right now, with what's settling down at wide receiver, I don't think that can be like the focus of this. And from what my research has shown, and from what I'm hearing from people around the league, man, if they were really interested in getting all the way up to take a stab at Jameson Williams, they have to get in the top 10. And it's crazy. It's so expensive to do that. I just don't think that they're going to give up the capital. So if they were to trade up, I think they trade up a little lower to maybe get an edge. It just depends how it falls. We're going to see where that goes. And that's why Angry German, that's why it's defense focused this time, because I think the value of his recovery, Jameson's just getting pushed farther and farther out. And no, Quinn, it's not out yet. We are finishing it up, finishing our draft grades. So the first year I'm going to release my grades. I do grades every year. Dan and I are splitting it and adding a couple of other resources. We'll introduce you to them as we come out with the draft guide to help us do the grading, because it takes so much time. And normally I can't get the grades compiled as well as written up and put into a book like I usually do. So This year, you're going to get the athletic matrix rolled into it. All my production metrics that are all custom and specific to what happens on the field and our film grades. That's going to composite into our final draft guide. And then we're going to have a Substack starting probably next week that has our individual rankings for Dan, I, and maybe some of our other folks here on the channel that you guys know pretty well. So it's coming. Draft Network, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you very much. I was just wondering how to get in contact with you. I tried emailing Danny, never got back to my email. I don't have Twitter yet. Sure, there's an email. If you go to the About page on this channel, there's an email. You can contact me there. It's the same one that if you do become a member, folks, and you want into the Discord, email me here. But this is the email address to get a hold of me, rgrpodcast@gmail.com if you're on audio and listening, not watching. So that said, let's get into it. Thank you, Chiefs Draft Network. I appreciate you. I'm going to set this up. This is going to be Chiefs. We are going to go. I think we should try to run it all. I don't think we're going to make selections in the 7th. I'm just going to tell you that. We'll have it run fast so that we can get off and running. And so that's where we start. Now, I don't think I'm going to purposely go to try to trade up. Like I said, I think the value of Jameson Williams, who would be the main target for me if I was trying to trade up, I think he's just become so expensive because his recovery is going very well. I'm happy for him, but I think he's going to be a top 10 pick, and getting there is so expensive. They'd have to give up both the firsts as well as the second round to get there in the research that I've been doing and from the people around the league that I've heard from. So that's the tough one. Let's see. Trying to hit these as we go. Jace, Tyler Beatty to fill McKinnon role. I'm fine with that with the 7th. You guys know how I feel about running backs. Never in the top 100. Always on day 3 and definitely in the 7th. I am fine with that. I like what he brings to the table, certainly. I think the smart thing is drafting D-line and CBs in the first 2 rounds. Agreed. We'll hope that we can get that done. So let's get after it. I'm going to kick this off, and we will let it start. I think we can get a 2 and a 3 for our 1 picks. Possibly. Like, I'm surprised so far it hasn't even offered us a trade yet. That's generally kind of strange. In fact, I'm probably just going to restart this draft because I don't buy that happening. Someone's going to want to move down. I expect that multiple times. So let's try this again and see if we can get that to a more realistic look. And maybe what we'll do is we'll only pick to 6. Let's see. 604. How are you? Over under at 2.5 edges drafted and 1.5 wide receivers. I will take the under on edges. I think 2 is the most you can afford to take. And I'll take the over on wide receivers because I think you can double up in this draft at both positions. That would be one of my goals if I were in the room, because I think there's value at specific spots at both positions. I will say this. Wide receiver goes a lot deeper in this class than the edge does. That is my personal opinion after having graded most of the edges in this class. So here we are. It got all the way back down to us. We have a simple trade back. They want both of our 1s to send us back to 33 and 65. That's redonkulous from the Jacksonville team. Same thing with 32 and 34, a slight move back for the Lions, and they'll throw in a 5th. That's interesting. I would maybe consider that. We'll take a look at the board here in a second. Both of our first-round picks to go back to 39 and 48. Sorry, Ryan Poles. I'm a fan of you in real life, but here on this mock machine, it's not getting it done. The only thing that I would consider is the Lions, basically moving back 3 in each of our spots. 4 on the second one, I'm sorry. I'm picking up a 5th. I would want that 3rd instead, but I would give you a couple picks, including one of the 4ths to get there. And if I could give you all the 7ths, I'm happy to do it in order to get an extra 3rd out of it. So let's take a look at the board and we'll see what's here. Olave is here. Dax Hill is here. Burks and Sainz. So basically you have 2 pairs of wide receivers that if we moved back to 33, we're going to get one of them is the way that would work out. And in this trade, we were only moved back to 32 and 34. Sorry. So we'll have at least one of those guys to pick. Now we would also have, looks like Dean is available. Quay Walker's available. I actually think Quay Walker is the better projection 3 years from now than Dean is. Let's see. Tyler, some running backs that we're not going to mess with. Kyler Gordon later. That's where the additional pick could come in handy. Let's see what happens. Do you guys want this trade or do you want to skip it? Vote in the chat right now. And I see that there's more questions, you guys. I will try to answer them. If you super chat, I'll definitely take the time to answer it, but we're trying to work through this. I can't answer all the questions tonight. Make sure you're here tomorrow night at 6 Central, where it's the Q&A show where I answer every single question that's out there. And it doesn't mean every question put in the chat, every topic in the chat. So a lot of people will put the same questions in there. So skip, trade back, skip. Looks like the skips have it right now. When they want to take the selections that we have, looks like that is the majority so far. If you want this trade, speak up, because right now skip is winning. Too many good options for 29 and 30. Okay, so we will not trade then. We will stick. And that, for me, makes this a very, very simple selection. This is Chris Olave and Dax Hill back-to-back, and we're done. If you don't like that, tell me who else you want to see picked right now in this chat. And I will wait, because I will tell you, I think they both have the ability to start right away. Olave can be, if it's not as a starter, he can certainly be the fourth, but I think he would surpass what you have in McColl right off the bat. I think he might be pushing for playing time very, very early. Let's see. I got one Traylon Burks. Gavin, I will tell you, Burks is not a first-round selection for me. He does not grade out as a first rounder, so I won't take him here. I don't think he'll go in the first in reality either, unless someone just falls in love, because he just isn't. He keeps getting compared to Deebo Samuel, and he's not. It's just not the case. So let's see. Olave. Everybody seems to be good with Olave. Thoughts on Perry and Winfrey? I like Perry. He's not a first rounder for me. And they don't have him there anymore either. They did for a while, so we'll see. You could put Olave isn't the same kind of receiver as Sammy Watkins, sneaky. He runs mostly out of the slot, and he doesn't survive contact that well. That's Garrett Wilson for them. He is my number one, but he is gone. So let's do this. We're going to get Olave and Dax Hill. Everybody seems pretty comfortable with that. And so now we've taken the wide receiver and we've fixed the nickel corner / safety aspect here. Now, this is something that I have been hearing a lot, is that the Texans want out of their 50th pick or their 37th pick to move back and acquire more. So we can take a look at that. Now, if I give up 50 for 37 and a third, I'm going to need your fourth back. And I'm not giving you an extra fourth just because you ask for it. That's ridiculous. I think I would want your third, and I would give you another one of the sevenths. So that basically we'd move up from 50 to 37 and up from 94 to 80. What do you guys think of that trade? Do you want me to do it, yes or no? Trade or skip? Let's see. We have super chat from Bill. Let's see what Bill thinks. Does Dak start over Reed or Thornhill and then move into the slot or nickel? He starts at the nickel and then comes in. It would be Thornhill and Reed at the back. And then you can move him to the 3 safety if you want, or you can leave him in the nickel. I think it'll actually depend on how many times you fill up the corner spot. But if you did that, it basically makes Sneed, Fenton your starters and bumps Baker out of the starting lineup. And I think that's probably good. Okay, looks like the trade votes have it. Let's pull the trigger on this. So we're going from 50 and 94 up to 37 and 80. We're giving up a seventh to do it. They offered it, so if they're going to take it, that's on them. I wouldn't do this trade if I were the Texans, but they certainly will. Okay. At least on this board in this scenario. Okay, so we're on the clock at 37. This is where it gets interesting. Nakobe Dean is available. Quay Walker is available. Sky Moore is there as well. Now, we took a wide receiver in Chris Olave. So Sky Moore is not on the table for me. I would not make that selection because it's too early to double dip. And like I said, I think they can double dip. But we have to take a look at the edges. Quite frankly, the edges are a mismatch. they're being pushed really high now because of the lack of quarterback interest. If that wanes, then we might have a better chance. But the two best, and Logan Hall is an interior player. He is not an edge on my board. I'm going to tell you that right now. But we're looking at Cameron Thomas and Nick Barry's there. I think Nick Benito could play in this defense, but he'd be mostly a third down kind of player, a quarterback hunter, like a designated pass rusher is what I think Nick Benito could be. I don't think he has the sand to stand in there early on run downs. I think he would get kind of beat up. No, Ojabo went. Let's double check. Yes, Ojabo went. Ebiketie went. I'm not huge on Ebiketie. I know some of you guys are. 46 is about fair to me. He went a little early in this draft. He has the upside, but he doesn't know what he's doing with his hands yet. And I don't think he's able to walk in and be a 4-3 end from day one. So whereas Cam Thomas can. So he would be my selection right here. Oh, wait, no, I wanted to stay at edge. I wanted to take off the show drafted. I would say that with him available, I think Cam Thomas would be a very likely candidate for me. What do you guys think of Cam Thomas? Yay or nay? A lot of Quay love, and I understand that as well. I am very big on Quay Walker. He does not have the coverage instinct and experience of Chad Moom, but he has the ability. On the matrix, they're fairly close. I have graded Quay. He is not quite up to par of Chad Moom, in my opinion, but it's not that drastic. I actually have Christian Harris and Chad Muma about flipped. I have Muma a little bit above Quay still, but Quay has more upside. I think Chad Muma is nearly a finished product at this point. So yes on Cam Thomas. Go with Dean. Sam Williams is from Ole Miss, not Texas A&M, but he'll be available later. He's not a second-round pick, in my opinion. Trade back from these options. You want to try and trade back again? Who do you want to trade with? The Seahawks? They have back-to-back picks. We can maybe work something with them. Let's check out. Where are they? There they are. Okay, I'll give you 37, Hawks. I'll go back to 41. And all you got to do is give me a fifth. They're not interested. How about I give you a seventh? How about two? 2 sevenths for a fifth? I don't know. What do you guys think? We could also maybe try to trade back. No, that really wouldn't work with the Seahawks. That doesn't work. Georgia pick. Impact, welcome. I assume that's Impact. I might have said that clumsily. Apologies. I don't know. We're not getting trade offers, so I think we should stick and make the selection. Right now, I think the best one is either Quay Walker or Cam Thomas. That would be Fitz. I don't see corners that I like here. I do like Jalen Petrie, though. But with Dax on board, you don't need him. So maybe we do want to try to move back a little bit. Who's another NFC team? Would the Falcons want to trade with us? Probably not. I'm not sure why this is giving me so much trouble tonight, you guys. Apologies. Let's try the Falcons and see if we'll move back to 43. I still think we could probably get Quay Walker there. That's the reasoning. If not, we can pick up Chad Muma. And let's see if we can pick up an 82nd for that. Maybe even, there we go. So we could pick up 82 possibly for one of the fourths and the sevenths. You guys want to do that trade? Hit me yes or no in there. Aaron, thank you for this one from PKTM811. What he thought about trading 30 next year's first and one of this year's first for the top 10 pick. I have played with trading next year's first as well. It still ends up costing likely the second round pick this year. So one of the ones and the second with next year's first. Half the time I can't even get that done though. So everyone says, let's see, we're about split yes and no on this trade to move back to 6 spots and then pick up another top 100 pick for a fourth and both the sevenths. Maybe I can even Nope. It needs to be that many picks in order to get it done. Again, looking at where we are with Dean, Quay, and Cam Thomas as options that we like. McCrary is there. I don't think McCrary fits what the Chiefs will do. They have hard minimums on arm length, and he does not fit that. So let's see. Yes, no, yes, no. Oh man, we are about split, you guys. Winfrey is not. I don't think Winfrey is something that I want to spend a nearly first round pick on. So I'm not going to go Winfrey. We're going to go Dean, Walker, Cam, or trade. And the reason that I said trade, if we accomplish this trade, we're moving back 6 spots. We should be able to still get one of those 3 guys and pick up another top 100 pick. So let's see. Dean, Cam, don't trade. Yes, trade. Dean, try for more picks. Take Cam. Oh man, we are all split all over the place. I like this. This is good debate. Let's see. Dean and Walker. Well, we can only take one unless we trade. That's my whole point, is if we move back, we can pick up another 100. We might be able to get another solid player. Cam is, I agree with you, Bill. Cam is an edge contributor right away. Quay plays right away, in my opinion, in the base as well. So there is that, but the bigger need is at edge. So I'm with you. I would tend to say, even though Cam Thomas is not the best athlete here, best grade overall, he's the best one at a position that the Chiefs need over linebacker. So I am tempted to trade. So let's just change this. I want to trade back. I want to take this one. Yes or no right now. I think Cam will be available in 4 picks no matter what. I can't see him going before that. So we can pick up another big pick and get Cam Thomas. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Solid depth, get Cam. Yes, no, yes, trade. Okay, we're going to pull the trigger. The yeses have it on the trade. We're going to pull that, and we're going to see what happens. I think there could be 2 of those players. Well, you guys made the offer, and now it won't let me click off of it. I'm going to send it again because it's pretty close. Addicted. See, just had to ask him a second time and say, please. Addicted. I do think that Muma goes on day 2 towards 50 to 64, like the second half of round 2 is what I think. So we gave that up. We're not going to trade out of this again. No, thank you. So what did we miss? So we were at 37. They took Dean. Tariq Woolen went way too high for him. Great athlete, not a full-fledged corner yet. Sky Moore went. Cam did go. We lost out on that one. That's terrible. But what did it leave us? It left us Quay Walker. So now we did get, of those 3 that we were looking at, we did get our chance at 1. I think we pulled the trigger there on him since we have a wide receiver. Otherwise, I'd be looking at Christian Watson. And this is the area for Christian Watson, in my opinion. Okay, so you guys that wanted Cam and didn't want me to trade out, you were right. This is what happens. I'm not taking Watson because we already have Olave. We're not doubling up in the top 100. There's no edge on this roster. So we have to be able to get to the point. Josh Paschal isn't the answer, in my opinion. He is not athletic enough. Kingsley Enagbare is not consistent enough. Neither are any of the others. So it comes down to Quay Walker or Christian Watson. You guys want to go for the guns? You tell me. Watson or Quay? I think Travis Jones was selected. That's why he wouldn't be here. Otherwise, I'd be all over him as well. Oh, no, he is. Oh, we have to consider that then as well. Let's double check our pick structure as we're sitting here now. We have 43, 62, 80, and 82, then 103 and 135. So at this point, is Travis Jones at 62 going to go before we get to 62, which we have? Oh, I like that idea. Is Jones a better prospect than Quay? No. He's right on par with Christian Watson. Okay, we have several Quays. We have several Travis Joneses. I will say this. There's better linebacker depth than there is interior defensive line depth. So I think we have to go Jones. Because once you get past him, it gets pretty meager. It's a lot of if past that. So let's do Travis Jones, make him a chief, and we're going to see what we get at 62 because we still have that. Washington wants out again. They want us to give up that last fourth. I'm not inclined to do that. So I'm glad you guys like that. There is Holly. Watson scares me dropping the ball. He didn't do that at the Senior Bowl, so I will give him that. Is there a glitch in the software? Yes, there are a couple. And in certain situations, it flips picks. Let's counter this because if we can get back to 50, we might do ourselves some good. But no, they're not going to do that. So we're going to let them roll. There are a few picks ahead of us. DeMarvin Leal is still there. That's all right. San Francisco wants back. They want to swap fourths and seconds. You got to pay more than that, buddy. Hate to tell you. I'm going to need that, not that. So move up around. Bada boom. There we go. Okay. So we got Travis Jones at 43. We're on the clock at 61. And at this point, the best player on the board for us is not an interior defensive lineman. Let's see, where to equate. Muma went just the pick before us, unfortunately. That's what I was trying to get up to get Muma. It didn't work. That's okay. We have other pieces to play with. This is Pickens. Now, we cannot go Pickens. I don't think so. I think we have bigger things to take care of. The edges are not really ranked here. We could maybe get away with that. Drake Jackson's going to be available. Benito's going to be available. Deangelo Malone, who tested out of the roof the other day, I think he's going to be a good value. What do we have next? We have 80 and 82. So could we go George Pickens and still be safe for the edges? I think we can. The developmental edges are going to be there. We don't have any starters left. We missed out, my fault, on Cam Thomas. So we don't have any others. So I think the best player, DeMarvin, not really interested in him. Just don't like the way that he plays up and down. Bell, Mechie, Pickens, I would probably take. Mechie I might take over Pickens. They're very touch and go there. You have a coverage linebacker in Asamoah. Really, really athletic interior guy in Leo Chanel. If they didn't have Nick Bolton, I would consider him, but he does not play the pass well. He does not turn and run as well, even though he has the athleticism to do it. Very low production against the pass. So seems like everybody seems in on Pickens. So I will let the house call it. We will take Pickens, and he is now on your roster. So what we've done is double up on offensive weapons. Got Dax Hill to man the nickel and into the secondary. Can play the robber as well. Let's see. Don't want to trade back. No, thank you. Don't want to trade back. We did fill in George Pickens. Now, Mechie actually survived here. I cannot take 3 wide receivers in this draft. Let's see. Pickens been okay. Everybody's happy with Pickens. Yeah. If you like where we're going, hit that thumbs up. If you don't like where we're going, hit that thumbs up. Let everybody know that this is at least a fun exercise and that we're all kind of picking it together. Where are we? We have tight ends available. We don't need those. Mario Goodrich, I don't have him that high. We start to get into the developmental corners. I like Alontae Taylor. I think he could fit in this system. Cam Taylor-Britt, I'm not so huge on. I like Emerson. I think there's going to be some of the Cincinnati guys available here lower down. I don't know why Colby's so low. Colby Bryant, I think, is a 3rd-round pick all day long. So I think we can get to that with one of our last picks. So really, we want to take what's available up here. And I think we have to look at the edges now. So let's take a look specifically at edge, and let's double dip here at 80 and 82 and really bolster what we have. Sam Williams has some explosion. He's had some off the field, but he's been cleared. I know a lot of you guys like him. Let me know what you think of him specifically in the chat right now. Let's see. Tyreek Smith is a developed power edge for me. Deangelo Malone is a hunter. He is a stand-up guy. He is a 3-4. He can play in the base with his hand in the dirt. It's not as good as when he's playing stand-up, and I'm okay with that. But he, Tyreek Smith, MyJ Sanders, they can all get by with their hand down. So it gets very thin after those 5 guys. Isaiah Thomas is okay. Dominique Robinson is okay. After that, it gets kind of thin. So I would say my favorite combination here is probably Sam Williams and Deangelo Malone. What do you guys think of that? Sneaky said the opposite and go with MyJ and Tyreek. You just want to have a Tyreek on the roster? Is that what it is? Troy Anderson. I think because of the way this has fallen, I don't think Troy Anderson can be a viable option right now. We have to get numbers at edge until the Chiefs trade for somebody or something else happens. Maybe if that happens that this week, next week, we don't have to do that. So let's see. MyJ and Williams, we have a vote for. Ken's with me. David says MyJ and Sam. MyJ and Sam. Well, I like Deangelo Malone better. That's my personal preference. We'll go with whatever the crowd thinks. Rogue Nation, what do you got? Give me your top 2. Williams and Sanders seems to be the pick. Let's do this. Do you want MyJ Sanders and Sam Williams? Is that your pick? Yes or no in the chat? And Rogue Nation will pick this one. Williams and Malone. I like that too. That's my favorite, I think, of the 2. Williams, Malone, Williams and Malone. Malone, Sanders. Okay, so just yes or no. Sanders and Williams, yes or no? Julian, Jeff Gunter is way more developmental in my opinion. I don't think he can start for you as a rookie. I'm not sure that he can't beat out Kano, to tell you the truth. He's that level of player for me. A lot of development needs to happen, in my opinion. Has the physical tools, but like not quite sure what to do with them. Malone, Sanders. Okay, a lot of yeses. Okay, so the yeses have it. So we're going to go Sam and Malone. Sam Williams. No, we're not trading that pick. Shut up. And we come back with Deangelo Malone. So we have our 2. Sam's got some burst, but I think he's a little more powerful setting the edge. Deangelo certainly has the edge covered. We're back on the clock here with our last 2 picks at 103 and 105. And now we can take the best player available anywhere. That's going to be the interesting part. So Abraham Lucas is a swing tackle that will go in the 3rd round. I am 99% sure of that. He is a slightly less powerful Eric Fisher, but he's very, very smooth. He's very athletic, and he could be the fallback if Lucas Niang doesn't. Let's see. Dulcich is, a lot of people have him as the number 1 tight end. I like Ferguson as well. You could do that. Emerson, the corner, again, is on my list. There's the edges we were talking about. I'm not a big Josh Jobe fan. If we hadn't taken 2 wide receivers, I would look at Khalil Shakir here. I would take a long look at him. Alec Pierce, same thing. I'd probably just grab Pierce, to tell you the truth. Jelani Woods is a very athletic tight end, doesn't quite have the experience to jump into an offense like this. Jalen Watson is criminally underrated here. I think he's a day 2 pick that can man the corner spot. I like that. Marquise Bell is interesting, Chase. He's a missile, man. He likes to play physical, but I'm not sure that he can do everything that they need him to do. I don't like him playing deep in manning a zone. Let's see. Colby Bryant is still here, I'm guessing. Let's take a look at that. So he should be one of our picks. Colby Bryant is still here. He should be a guy that gets picked right around these picks, if not a little bit before. So let's say we're going to take him with 1. So we have 1 more spot. Let's see what you guys like. Not going to take another wide receiver. Let's take that off the board. Bill, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. Zion McCollum is underrated. I see people pushing him up into the 2nd round. That's way overrated. Zion's a good player. He's never played against any significant competition. He's dominated at lower levels. I'm totally with you there. I like him here in this range, probably more on the top of the 4th round, but that's okay. I could take either of them. I would take these corners over the safeties, unless Brian Cook is still available. Let's see. Nick Cross is a good player. Brian Cook is available. Oh, he's even farther underrated than Colby is. So I think what we have to decide, let me double check. I think these are our last two picks. Yes, these are our last two picks. So this is going to be it. I do like Zion McCollum. You're right. How would you feel about Verone McKinley? I like Verone. I don't think he has the physicality to be what they need. With Justin Reed and Juan Thornhill playing top down, top to middle, they need somebody who can play man really well, and I'm not sure that that's what he can do. I like him in space. He could do the robber thing as the third safety, but we drafted Dax Hill to be that nickel that then can play that robber as well. So I wouldn't think McKinley is the way to go here. Let's see. Colby, not Colby. Oh, is it Colby? I always get that wrong. It is Colby. You're right. Thank you for pointing that out. I've been saying that wrong for a while. No, Tariq Woolen Chase, he went early, way overdrafted in my opinion. Jeremy, that's a good question. I think just this site. PFF has him around 100 is the last time I looked. So, that's it. Frank, like I said, Bell, he's not a complete safety for me. Where is he? Is he even on this list? Yeah, they have him way down. Like he would be something when they still have sevenths. He might even go undrafted and become a UDFA. I could see that there as well. Named after. Okay, so that's what's throwing me. See, if they spelled it that way, Dean, I would know. But it's the different spelling that's throwing me off. Yeah, we're definitely going to take a corner with one of these picks because Jalen Watson there, Colby Bryant is there. Did Zion go? No, he's way down here. Now, he has been artificially inflated, and this site doesn't seem to recognize that. So, Holly, I tend to go with you there. They're a little slow to update as well. That's why I've been trying to use other machines this whole time, and we just never got to it because it just hasn't happened. This is still the most accurate in terms of what most value is in everything that Dan and I have discussed and with the other draft analysts that I talk to all the time. I like that. And here's the other thing is what have we done here? We went Ohio State, which was a very good team. We went Michigan, who was in the college football playoff. We went Georgia, who was in the college football playoff. I would like to get some experience in high pressure games. So I like the Cincinnati guys and I like the Georgia guys and I like the Alabama guys, although they, I think, are artificially inflated as well. So let me see. Who's your favorite corner? Who do you guys want me to take? I would lean towards Kobe. Put it in the chat and we'll figure that out. We might even take two. How's that? Let's see. How about 2 CB here? Thank you, Kenneth. That's exactly what I was getting at. Thank you for the support as well. Very much appreciate that. Got a Kobe, got a couple of Kobe's. Kobe and Brandon Smith. Kobe or Emerson. DeMarcus Fields is on there twice. Oh, is he really? I didn't notice that. That's funny. Once there. Okay, he must be farther down then again. That's funny that he's on there twice. Sometimes you enter things and you get a little lost. So do you guys want, I think you guys are in on Kobe. So do we want Kobe and his backfield teammate, his secondary teammate, Brian Cook? Or do we want Kobe and Zion? So Zion or Brian Cook, I'll go take Kobe right now. Colby Bryant, welcome to Kansas City. So Steel, sharp to steel, absolutely. Kobe and Zion. Kobe and Emerson. Caleb Evans, no. I don't think so. Zion, Kobe. Caleb Evans is a decent player. I don't think he's well-rounded enough to do everything that Spags wants to do. He would be more of like a Bo P. Keys, like a 5th, 6th kind of guy for me. Here in the 3rd, I think that's too high for him. Zion, a Dulcich fan. Okay. Dulcich is very intriguing. I have to say, if they need to get another weapon. Kobe, Emerson, Emmons, Zion, Abraham Lucas. Did Lucas not go still? Oh, yeah, he is still there. I mean, that could be a scenario too. Like they've already had so many picks here. You could go off to tackle if that's what you're most concerned about. Since we did just get Colby Bryant, maybe let's turn into this. Let's go Abraham Lucas or Zion McCollum or Brian Cook. Brian Cook. Put it in the chat. One of those three players. Just put the player name in the chat right here. Got a Dulcich from Chase. Thank you, Kenneth. Appreciate you. Zion, Cook, Lucas, Zion, Lucas. Zion times 1,000, said Bill. I like that. Somebody asked about the linebackers available. And you can see here, Brandon Smith is there. I don't think he's as good at coverage as a lot of folks initially thought. DeMarco Jackson, I think, is a better coverage linebacker than him. Damon Clark, this is a serious complication because Damon Clark is a very good linebacker who just found out at the combine he has to have spinal fusion. 2 of his vertebrae have to get fused together. That's why he's dropped here to the late hundreds. He would be a pick and stash. He won't play in this coming season. So that's a difficult one. Zion is the most athletic CB in 20 years. Not quite, but he's up there. Byron Jones is the best corner scorer in the history of the athletic matrix. So that goes back 16 years. And I'll give you a side-by-side at some point. Yeah, Tyler, in the 5th, it would be. Now, what we've done in trading all this stuff around, I couldn't justify taking him here in the 3rd. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind. Quinn, what's your opinion on the Chiefs maybe moving to Kansas? I mean, I find it very, very unlikely. I think it'd be interesting to have it like by legends, just because it should be nice and easy for everybody to get to. But I think in the end, it's been in Missouri for so long. I don't think there's any reason that Jackson County or whoever else would have to step up in terms of like funding. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. So I think it stays in Missouri, but it's nice to think about, as somebody who lived on the Kansas side for a long time, I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it matters in the end. Let's see. I would take Abraham Lucas over Faalele, and I like Faalele, but he's not the athlete that Abraham is, and Abe can play both sides. Faalele cannot play left tackle in a pinch. I will tell you that. Let's see. Dulcich. Yeah, I agree, FLDB. I don't think there's any way. No on KC to Kansas. Let's just be real, though. I think everybody feels that Missouri's the only Kansas City. It's not. It's only half of it. But for the Chiefs, they've been in Missouri forever. I don't think they're going to change that. The experience at Arrowhead is too good. I agree, Quinn. It is a great place to see a ball game, but it is getting older. And when this lease is up, I don't think it's going to be cost effective for them to refurbish it again. So I think a new stadium is going to have to be built somewhere. There are a lot of scenarios, but I think in the end, I don't think Missouri's going to let them go. Seeing how you've hit wide receiver, edge, and DB, the biggest concerns, I would be interested in your thoughts on Bailey Zappi for your next pick. I'd love it, Teddy. Bailey Zappi, if you guys missed it, you can see my top 5 rankings, my top 5 grades anyway, not my personal rankings, on Locked On NFL Draft. And you can find it on all the Locked On media. It's on my Twitter feed as well. Bailey Zappi's my number 5. I don't think he's a 3rd round pick, though. That's the difference. I like him number 5. But I think he's probably a 4th, maybe even a 5th when it comes down to it. It's just the quarterbacks aren't good. That's what it comes down to. I'm not a fan of Sam Howell. I don't think Carson Strong has got a complete game enough to go very far in the league. I will take Zappi and his inefficiency right now because he's gone from high school to Houston Baptist, who played Sisters of the Blind, to Western Kentucky, and he's only gotten better. Like, there is way more upside in Bailey Zappi. I like where you're coming from, Teddy. For the Chiefs, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, though. I'll tell you that. Let's see. We kind of got off track. So, again, Abraham Lucas, DeMarco Jackson is pretty good. Damone, we're not going to take. There are some other coverage guys down here, like Mike McFadden can cover. He's not super good at it. Nate Landman's pretty good. He's got some nice production numbers. But I don't think linebacker is going to be on the board here. I think they're probably going to address that elsewhere. So it comes back to Brian Cook or Zion McCollum. And I think at 105, I can live with Zion. I taking him as a second-round pick, I don't think is really in the cards. But you can see just how far down he's ranked just off of film for this crew. So Tyler, not a bad idea. Brian Robinson, I like him as a back. I think he's my number 3. But I wouldn't take him until 5th round. I wouldn't take a running back at all until the 5th round. So we're going to take that off the board. Got an Abraham, still Zion, Cook, Zion, Cook, Zion. You guys are back and forth. We got to flip a quarter, you guys. One more round. Bam, Cook or McCollum, Cook or McCollum. And then we'll wrap this up. Made it 45 minutes. I was aiming at 30, but hey, you never know. Let's see. Cook, Zion. Okay, Zion. Zion slightly winning. Let's see who else. Who else is in? Who else is in? McCollum, Zion, Zion, Zion. Okay, Zion's winning. We're going to take him. You could convert him to safety if you needed to, is my thought. He has, I think, enough diverse athletic skill, a willingness to hit and be physical. If he doesn't work out and he can't make a leap, I think you have enough to fall back on. So that's what we've done. You guys, thank you very much for helping me pick it. We're going to run it down, but I just want to say thank you for everybody who's been here and is contributing to the chat and the selections that we're making, especially all you super chatters. So what we did is we were able to take Chris Olave and Dax Hill with the Chiefs' original picks at 29 and 30. That takes care of everything but edge. But at the time, we didn't have edges to select from. There just wasn't any good value available. If we go back to it, we'll see as this pushes around. And even Trayvon Walker was a top 10. Jermaine Johnson, the 13. Karlaftis, Boye went at 22. And Ojabo went at 23. And this keeps moving down as it ticks. Sorry, you guys, I can't freeze it. That's what it was. Is Ojabo and Mafe would generally have been there a couple weeks ago. And would have been something that I think we could take a look at. Even though Ojabo's hurt, I think that that's a viable concept there. But when they go at 22 and 23, that just leaves Karlaftis, and I'm not down with him. And he wasn't even available when we got on the board at 29. So we ended up taking the best 2 players on the board at the time that can help the Chiefs, and that was Dax Hill and Olave. I like Kyler Gordon too. I think that might be a little rich for him, but that's just my thought. So we come back, and we were able to get through trades to 43 and take Travis Jones, a guy that can provide the quick pass rush inside to help Chris Jones. And I think that's significant. That could help the defense almost as much as the edge can. And if you sign Melvin Ingram back and you have Frank Clark as your starter, then what we did later in the draft really works. We were able to get to 61. We came back and got George Pickens there. So we've added another weapon with a lot of speed and a guy who I don't think is fully recovered yet, but I think he will be in this coming season as long as he can stay, from any kind of re-injury. So I really like that. Then we came back, and that's where we double dipped in the 80s and got Sam Williams from Ole Miss and Deangelo Malone. Admittedly, I took him higher because I didn't think he'd last to 103. It's a little overinflated for Deangelo, in my opinion, but he just tested out of the roof and confirmed everybody's most possible right there. So I'm pretty happy with that. If you like that, make sure you like this video. Make sure if you're new, you sub in right now so you see everything and click that bell notification, because this week we could have some signings or trades, and I will jump in when we're live, when anything happens. So keep that available. Then we finished up after the edges. We had a long discussion just now about the corners. And again, both these guys can move over to safety if they have to. And I think that's the key right there. It's because Dax Hill is very versatile. Now these guys can man and bolster up the youth at corner. And both those guys have some skills. Super athletic for Zion, super savvy for Colby Bryant. Some people thought that he actually was the reason that Sauce was able to get so good. And Sauce is going to be a top 10 pick, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to find out. What's going on in here? One more question from Josh. Folks, if you have any more questions or anything you want to say before we wrap up, throw them in there now. Curious if you thought the Chiefs would be more likely to draft Ojabo in efforts if they thought for sure that they could bring Ingram back this season. It definitely provides a security blanket. If you have an agreement in principle with Melvin, but he doesn't want to go to camp and doesn't want to go to OTAs, and you think you can get it done later, that's good. I will just say, if a better offer comes along for Melvin, he's got to take it. So until you ink it, it's not really done. But if you were to get him, then yes, I think that'll allow you the cover to take Ojabo and take that time. You would have to go back and take someone else at the edge position later. Maybe one of the guys that we ended up taking here in Sam Williams or Deangelo Malone or Tyreek Smith or MyJ Sanders. I think MyJ's stock has been down because of what he did at the combine. He got sick and he lost like 20 pounds. That does give you a little bit of a clue, like long-term, can he really keep the weight on? That's a concern. But I think he's bouncing back up now. So if we can get better edge rusher, that's a good idea. Absolutely. Yeah, any trade changes all of this, you guys. And that's why this is just a scenario for tonight. So it is what it is. Thank you all for everything. I don't think that must have been it for Holly and for Aaron. Give Aaron a hand, will you guys? As Scott said, Mod Father rocks and keeps us all kind of in line and keeps me from missing everything. So sometimes I get a little carried away. I appreciate you being here. I hope this was fun. And again, if you don't like this, put it in the comments. If you love this, put it in the comments. This is just, again, one scenario. And I will do more. We're going to do a Locked On Chiefs draft tonight. You guys will have that here in the next hour or two. You can check that out with Chris Clark and I as well. And then we will be back. I don't know if we'll mock tomorrow night, but I might do another one here later in the week. We're going to start to speed up as Dan and I work through all of them. We're going to have more for definitely check out rogueapc.com and get the Matrix if you want the Matrix. The draft guide is coming, but it's not ready yet. It's going to take a bit. That's the email. That's not what I meant to click. I meant to click this. That's rogueapc.com. That's where you want to go and use that code. So we'll wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for all the contributors. All of your votes went into making this draft that ended up being a very nice haul for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me get this banner off so you guys can see it one last time. So well done. I think that we as a group, Rogue Nation, got this done together. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow night, 6 Central. We'll do this again and answer all your questions. You all have a great Sunday evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.